So guys, welcome back to another module of the Quantum Leap Ecomm Agency program. Now in this module guys, this will be honestly one of the highest ROI activities that you do. When you do this correctly, as I say, this will be one of the biggest and highest ROI activities that you do. What I mean by this is like return on investment, right? So in comparison to the amount of time that you put into this module, i.e. like building out what we go through, that time that you put in, like this will bring out the biggest ROI, will bring out the biggest return on investment, because truly building out a team and building just such a strong, just building out such a strong team with such high quality, high quality members, there truly isn't anything else that will bring more value and, essentially at the end of the day, bring more money to you and your business, okay? Yes, we can, build out the best outreach systems and best service delivery systems and best operations for our agency and whatnot. And we still need to do that, of course, but this module truly beats all. Building out your team, this module and the following module where we talk about how to manage your team as well, honestly, it's just, like I say, it will be the highest ROI activity that you do within your agency. So with that being said, let's dive straight into it and look at really how we can start to build just a very strong team, okay? So let's get into it. Building a true team. So in this module, guys, here is what we are going to cover, okay? Traits that all successful leaders have, okay? Because we need to understand now that we are building out our own agency and we are, basically the owner of the agency, which, we're the owner of the agency, we need to become a leader. And so what we need to do is look at, just the traits that all successful leaders have. And then we need to basically copy those traits, okay? And so as I said, that's what I want to cover first is traits. I want to look at the traits that all successful leaders have. Next thing, we're going to look at the point in which you should bring on a team member. Okay, this is a very common question that I get. People asking, when should I bring on a team member? Should I do it before I've got a client? Should I do it after I've got a client? Should I do it once I've got, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clients, so I know how to do the service delivery myself, etc., etc. We're going to be covering that. We're going to put that question to bed in this module, guys. Next, we're going to look at physically finding your perfect team member. So obviously, we are going to look at why we need to build a team, how to build a team. But then also, like, if we're looking, you guys know this program is very practical. So as I say, we're gonna physically look at how to find your perfect team member. Next, we're gonna look at cutting through the noise, okay? Meaning, how do you kind of bypass all of the quote unquote tire kickers and really find your perfect true team member? And then last but not least, we are going to look at how to pay your team member / team members. Okay, again, another really practical point, how to physically pay them. So let's dive straight into it, guys. So as I say, traits that all successful leaders have. Let's just look at the real world, okay, quickly. Let's just quickly look at the real world. So there is not one successful business out there that has been built off the back of one individual wearing all the hats 100% of the time, okay? Rather, all successful businesses have been built by a team of individuals who all share the same North Star, okay? North Star basically means goals, okay? And each person takes the necessary action required to get closer to the North Star, okay, guys? So we need to, I know, surrounding this kind of industry and whatnot, SMMA and stuff like that, people don't really, I feel as though, okay, I personally feel as though people don't really see SMMA as a actual business, okay? They just see it as like something that they can do to get a bit of money, a bit of money coming in on the side, or sometimes people just think that they can just start it, get to 6 figures, and just kind of just sit back and do nothing. But that is the completely wrong mindset, okay? And SMMA, as you guys know, if you've been following me for any length of time, you've probably picked up within this program up until this point as well, that building an SMMA is an actual business, Okay, it's a real legit business. We need to implement the same business strategies as you would with a startup, for example. Yes, the dynamic is different, of course, because we're a lot more efficient, we're a lot more streamlined, our profit margins are ridiculously higher than any other business out there. But at the end of the day, it's a business. Okay, so we need to start thinking in terms of being a leader, in terms of being an actual owner and quote unquote CEO, okay, because that's what we are. And so as I say, if you look at any business out there, any business that is successful, given that it's successful, it was never, ever, ever built by one person wearing all the hats. Rather, it was built by a team, a company of people who specialize in different parts of the overall business, and each and every person takes the necessary actions to get closer to the company's North Star. North Star, as I said before, meaning their kind of goals and what they want out of their business. And we need to start, you need to start to adopt this same thinking and same mindset, because at the end of the day, this is what we're doing, okay? We are building a real, legit business, and so we need to start following the same traits that all successful leaders have, okay? Now, let's look at the second point, okay? So successful leaders. Every successful leader or owner understands that they are not the best at everything, and they know that a surefire way to building a very successful business is by putting their ego aside and finding amazing talent whose strengths are their weaknesses. Okay, successful leaders know what they don't know just as well as what they do know. Okay guys, so this is a very, very important concept. Successful leaders know what they don't know just as well as what they do know. So what I mean by that, it may sound like a kind of one of those, just, those like woo-woo topics. It's like that quote, it sounds cool, but it like doesn't have any meaning, but this one does, trust me, okay? So what I mean by that is they know exactly like where their weaknesses are. They know exactly what they're not good at. And they know that side so well that they know it just as well as what they actually do know how to do. And so what this kind of directly correlates with is that, as I say, they know their weaknesses so well, and so what they can go ahead and now do is hire somebody, bring somebody on board who their strengths is where the leader's weaknesses are, and they know that their weaknesses lie here because they know that just as well as what they do know, okay? I hope that makes sense, but it's really, really important to understand, because that is how businesses get built to the sizes that some of these businesses out there are at. That is literally exactly how they do it, is because you got to think of it like there's no weaknesses in the company anywhere, because every single person who's hired has a strength where somebody else's weaknesses are, okay? And so let's look at a bit more practical. Let's look at in an SMMA. So this same concept correlates with an SMMA, because you got to remember SMMA is an actual business, okay? And so you as the agency owner, okay, you may not know how to do service delivery. So that's where your weaknesses are. However, your strengths are sales and, bringing in the leads, lead generation and selling those leads on the service. That's your strength. So you as the agency owner must understand that you cannot wear all the hats and deliver the service as well. You can't do it. So you need to bring somebody on board, i.e. a media buyer, whose strengths are where your weaknesses lie, meaning that their strength is running ads, is delivering the service. However, that's where your weakness lies, okay? And then the media buyer doesn't need to, their weaknesses don't matter because you're taking over everything else. That way, at every single point in your agency, you're strong. Essentially, that's what it means. You are strong, okay? So identify where your weaknesses are and know them just as well as what you do know, okay? Now, let's have a look at what they focus on. So rather than them focusing on trying to inflate their ego by saying to themselves that they can do everything on their own, they focus on what they can actually do well and write down their weaknesses. They then search and find team members that they can bring on board whose physical abilities are the opposite to their own, but their goals and mindset are aligned. This is what you want to be doing for your own agency, because at the end of the day, we are building a legit business, okay guys? So, as I've already said, this is what you want to be doing, because at the end of the day, we're building a legit business, no different to a startup, for example, right? So, as I say, you wanna just put your ego to the side. Don't think that you can wear all the hats and you can do everything, and that's gonna then help you increase profit margins. Because again, if you guys know my story, I've been there, I've done it, I've tried it, and it hurt me very, very badly, okay? I genuinely would be, I think I'd probably be 50% higher than where I am right now, right? At the point of recording this, my agency is bringing in around 20,000 a month. I genuinely think I'd be over 30,000 a month from my agency if I adopted this whole concept before I started, or you know, when I started, as opposed to halfway through my journey, okay? I've been burnt very bad. I started out, I thought I could wear all the hats. I thought I could do the sales, lead generation, and service delivery for every single client. I was able to do it until I think I had 8 to 10 clients, okay? And it was all me. And soon enough, they started to fall off. And then obviously, at the end of the day, it came down to the fact that I didn't have somebody else doing, you know, it's not even like my weaknesses were media buying, because I was able to get good results. I know I can still get good results. It's just, I wasn't physically able to do everything that I was trying to do. And so that resulted in my weaknesses becoming with the service delivery, because, not because I physically couldn't do it, it was more because I just didn't have the time. So then it just resulted in the service delivery being terrible. That's when the client started to leave, okay? So just do not go, there's no need for you to go through that pain that I went through, because I'm telling you right now, start implementing this, okay? From day dot. Trust me, it's gonna save you a lot of time, it's gonna save you a lot of money, and it's gonna enable you to scale your agency a lot quicker. Like that, obviously the whole point of this program is to fast track your way to success, and this is a surefire way to do that. So that being said, let's get back into the slides. So let's have a look at when you should bring on a team member, because as I said before, you know, I get so many questions by people asking me, should I bring it on? Should I bring a team member on before I get a client when I'm starting, or should I leave it till I've got my first client, then bring one on, or should I leave it till I've got my first 5 clients so I'm experienced in how to get results as well? Like, when should I bring one on? Well, let's answer that question right here, right now, okay? So when should you bring on a team member? Let's look at timing, okay? I personally recommend that you find a team member before you get your first client. Okay, before you get your first client. If you already have your first few clients, then get one on board right now, okay? This will enable you to focus on the income producing activities, which is IPAs, of your agency from the get-go, and will allow you to scale much quicker, okay? So, media buyer. The first team member you need to bring on board is a media buyer. This is someone who will run all the ads for you, okay? i.e. this team member will take care of the service delivery aspect of your agency. And so it is vital that you bring on a team member, it is vital that you bring on a media buyer as soon as possible, because when you sign on a client, you will be able to get your team member to take over the service delivery for that specific client, okay? Additionally, because your media buyer should be an expert at what they do, it will not only increase your client retention rate, it will make it far easier for you to get more clients, as you will have better results to leverage. But also it is the best way for you to learn exactly how to serve your niche, i.e. Ecomm brands the best. Okay guys, so this, like, just, if you were to take one thing from this module, take this, right? Get a team member on board right now, whether you know, preferably before you've got your first client. However, I know some of you in this program have already got your first few clients, you're doing well and you're looking to scale up. If you haven't got a team member on board at that point, you need to get one on ASAP. Don't even look at bringing any more clients on board until you've got a team member on board, okay? But also, for those of you who haven't got a client yet, do what I recommend for you to do, okay? Obviously, in the following week, we're gonna be going through outreach. So I'd say focus around 85% of your time on outreach, because at the end of the day, that is the most important thing, okay? At the end of the day, outreach is the most important thing for you to do when you've not got any clients. But the remaining 15%, you know, maybe do in the morning or the start of the day, whatever, do outreach, and then at the end of the day, once you're tired, once you've done all the work for your outreach, at the end of the day, focus on finding a team member, okay? Because as I say, that's when I recommend, And the reason being is because, as I've kind of already touched on, you will be able to get far better results for your clients straight off the bat, okay? Because you won't need to go through the learning phase, right? If you're just starting out, yes, in this program, I go through a ridiculous amount of detail on how to do service delivery. And in all honesty, you'll be able to get amazing results just given the service delivery aspect of this program. But, you know, it also takes real world application and real world testing and failures for you to become an expert at marketing yourself. However, when you get somebody on board, i.e. a team member, a media buyer on board, they've already gone through all of that. So you're like jumping the gun and you're starting here with your agency straight off the bat. You don't need to go through that testing phase because your media buyer should be already an expert, should be already experienced. So you'll be able to get great results for your clients straight off the bat. Okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing is that not only obviously that will then result in client retention rates, increasing, because if they're getting amazing results, they're not going to leave you. They're not going to leave your agency. Obviously, if client retention rate, meaning the length of time that they stay with you. If you have, obviously you should only ever be signing on clients with 3-month minimums. If every single client then leaves after the 3 months, then your average client retention rate will be 3 months. However, you don't want that. You want them to stay on for 24, 30, 50 months, right? So you want them to stay on for as long as possible. And you do that by getting them amazing results. And the way that you get them amazing results is to bring a team member on board. As I say, that's the first thing. The second thing is that it's also going to make it a lot easier for you to go ahead and get more clients on board, because you've got far better results to start to leverage to bring on even more clients, right? When clients can see that that you're currently walking the walk, that you're currently actually getting amazing results for your current clients, then prospects, potential clients are gonna be far more likely to work with you, okay? So, they're the first two things. And then on top of that, learning Facebook ads is something that's very, very hard, right? Again, in this program, I go through it in a lot of detail. As I say, you genuinely be able to get amazing results for your clients just given the knowledge, just given the modules that we go into in this program. However, the best way for you to learn is by real world application. However, when you bring a media buyer on board, a team member on board, they will be doing it, right? So they're going to be doing, quote unquote, their thing. And they're going to be getting your clients great results. So not only are you getting paid, but you can also just consistently, day in, day out, ask your team member like, hey, why did you do this? Why did you do that? And you can learn like that, right? You can ask them what they're doing with inside the ads manager. And even if you have no idea, they will be able to teach you so well because they're doing it, right? They're physically doing it day in, day out. And that's also, like I say, it's just simply the best way for you to learn Facebook ads. So it's like almost at this point, it's a no-brainer for you to bring on a for you to bring on a team member on board. Okay, so let's continue. Again, guys, I have rambled on too far, but here's me just repeating myself again. So here's a real life example. As I said, I've already kind of touched on this, but back when I started my Ecomm agency, I was overly naive as I thought that I could handle everything on my own, right? As I knew this would increase my profit margins. And so I assumed that I could do all the service delivery for my clients, run the business, conduct all client calls, keep my pipeline full of new leads, and so on. But I assumed wrong, okay? I got to 10 clients, and it was at that point that I broke. I physically couldn't provide the best results possible for my clients. And one by one, they started to leave, and it resulted in me losing over $5,000 in monthly recurring revenue, okay? And so this entire problem could have simply been fixed if I had brought on a team member sooner. This is why I implore you to bring on a team member as soon as possible, right? It's vital that you do, because I've had first-hand real life experience from this. And so I really, really don't want you to go through the same problem that I went through, okay? So now that we understand the importance of bringing on a team member and why we need to bring one on board, okay, and when we need to bring one on board, now let's look at finding your perfect team member. So first things first, like, where do you go, right? Because I know a lot of the times people do these kind of concepts and whatnot, and it's like, yeah, that's cool and all, but where do you physically go? What do you physically do? Well, Let's have a look at that, okay? So the best way to find a multitude of potential candidates for the position you're offering is simply Facebook, okay? I have tried different mediums like Upwork and a bunch of other freelancing websites, but Facebook always comes out on top in terms of quality. Within Facebook, you wanna add yourself into a wide variety of groups that are associated to online marketing and e-com marketing, okay? So, as I say, Facebook groups. A great Facebook group to join for this purpose is called Facebook Ad Buyers Job Board, right? This is a group of around 15,000 members at the point of recording this that has specifically been created for people like you and me, right? You can go in there and create a post asking for people who are interested in working with you, and you will get an influx of messages and comments from potential candidates, okay? Now, once you are in the group, as I mentioned, you want to create a post in the group. Within the post, you want to simply introduce who you are and what you do, and then mention the fact that you are looking for a team member to bring on board to take over all client ad accounts, etc., right? So here is a perfect example of a post that you want to create. So, as I say, example of a post. Hey everyone, my name is Kai Bax and I actually own and run an e-commerce advertising agency. We are currently looking to bring on a team member to take care of the service delivery aspect for our clients. You will be paid on a per month, per client basis. Please comment/private message me if you're interested. Okay, so here's a quick explanation. So as I say, we can see within this super basic post that we have introduced who we are and what we do. Then we've explained simply what we are looking for. And in all honesty, there really isn't much else to it, as qualifying and eliminating the tire kickers, etc., comes into play once we have had people reaching out to us. So as I say, like, that's literally it. That's all you need to do, okay? Right below this video, I'm gonna link a Google Doc again with this template, so you can just literally copy and paste that into the Facebook Ad Buyers Job Board group. And that's like all you wanna do, right? Because as I say, that Facebook Ad Buyers Job Board group has literally been created for, you know, both people who are looking for, you know, team members and quote unquote contractors, which you never want to use that. It's always a team member. It changes the way that you think about your team. Contractors just like, you know, it's just going back to that whole idea before of, you know, we're building a real business, okay? So always refer to them as a team member. So it's, as I say, that job boards group has been created for people like you and me who where, you know, so we've got somewhere to go to look for team members, and also it's been created for people who want to become a team member, right? So as I say, it's around 15,000 people. Go into that, join that group, post some, you know, create a post with kind of the copy similar to that. As I say, I'll link it down below so you've got the exact template. You can put your own spin on it as well. And then from there, you're naturally going to get people commenting and also private messaging you, okay? And that's really all you need to do. So now let's have a look at what to do with the people who reach out to you saying that they're interested in the position, okay? So let's have a look. So as I say, cutting through the noise. So from the posts that you can create inside the groups, naturally you are going to get an influx of people, i.e. candidates, reaching out to you who are interested in working with you. But this is where the important stuff comes into play, because you are going to get hit with a lot of noise, okay? And it is your job to cut through that noise and depict who the one perfect team member is out of the 50, 60, 70 people that message you or comment, right? So as I say, you're gonna get so many people reaching out to you. And also I just wanted to touch on the fact that the reason I say posts is because if you do one post and you just don't feel like the right people are reaching out to you, nothing is stopping you from doing another post and another one and another one. When I was you know, looking for a team member, I was actually doing one a week. Even though like off the first post, like I found a pretty good guy, I still did one a week because you never know who else is gonna come through it, right? So obviously every time you post, different people are gonna see it. When you do one post, the 15,000, again, that is in the group at the point of recording this, not everyone's gonna see it. So you do post one a week for a month or 2 months, and then you can really decide who's going to be the perfect team member, okay? So as I say, when you do the post though, when you create them and you put them into the group, you're gonna get a lot of noise. And what I mean by that is, a lot of people are going to reach out to you who aren't actually that kind of qualified, or they're just not a right fit. So you need to cut through that noise. Okay, you're going to get a lot of people. You need to cut through that noise and find the one perfect person that fits. That's where, you know, getting people to reach out to you interested in the position isn't hard. The hard bit, as I say, is cutting through the noise. So as I say, let's look at the most efficient way to cut through. So it simply does not make sense for you to spend your time speaking to each and every individual person one-on-one that messages you the first time round. Okay, it doesn't make sense for you to spend your time doing that. And so we need to find another way to filter out the quote-unquote tire kickers. So we are left with a smaller group of people which we can communicate with and take to the quote-unquote second phase, okay? And so the most efficient way to cut through the initial noise is by creating a Google form, okay, or a type form. And so obviously, given the previous module, you guys now know that a Google form is simply a free version of Typeform. Typeform's a paid software. So as I say, the most efficient way to cut through the initial wave of noise is by creating a Google form or Typeform that is compiled of an array of questions that each candidate needs to answer, okay? And so from here, you can easily depict who is a tire kicker straight off the bat and who is worthy of speaking to on a deeper level. So as I say, you're gonna get a lot of people initially reaching out to you. You're gonna get a lot of people initially reaching out to you. So if you were to spend your time messaging them, maybe hopping on a call with each and every person, it just doesn't make sense. You're gonna waste so much time doing that. So you wanna, it's almost like a funnel, right? A lot of people are gonna be at the top. You wanna then funnel them down through the first phase. The first phase is a Google form. Then from there, you're gonna be left with a smaller group. And then from there, you can spend your time messaging and seeing who really is a good fit. And then from there, you can take them down until right at the bottom, just one person is left. And that's your perfect team member, okay? That's basically how I see this. So let's have a look on a bit of a deeper level at the Google form and the types of questions that you want to be asking on the Google form or the type form that you give, or that you make the initial wave of noise go through, okay? As I say, here is a list of 8 questions that I have compiled on my personal team member kind of application. Obviously, first things first, just email address, because you want to, that's the kind of the line of communication that you want to have with them when you kind of look at them a bit deeper, on a deeper level. Next thing is just obviously ask for them to provide all social media links. This will help you see somewhat the type of lifestyle that they live. You know, if they're always out partying and drinking, obviously you know straight off the bat that they're probably not going to be a good fit. Next thing is, do you do this full time or do you work/study? If so, what job are you currently working / what are you currently studying? Again, this is going to help you kind of understand just basically what their day-to-day looks like. If they've got a job and they're studying, for example, you know, from like 8 to 8 every day or something like that, you just know they're probably not going to be a good candidate. Next thing is, what is your biggest motivator for you to become a, you know, your agency team member? So for example, for me, I would say, what is the biggest motivator for you to become a Bax Consulting team member? Next, how much ad spend have you managed and for what clients? This is just going to give you a good understanding of kind of their experience, their level of experience as well, in terms of how much they're capable of spending, and the caliber of clients that they're used to working with. Next is obviously, can you provide proof to your above answer? You'll obviously usually get you'll usually see the proof in the form of a screenshot. Next is, what is a ballpark figure that you charge per client per month? This is just going to give you a good understanding. As you know, if they go ahead and say 1,500 per month per client, you know straight away that they're not going to be a good fit. And then we're just going to finish it off with, what do you do in your spare time, i.e. what are your hobbies, etc. So as I say, these questions just, you know, they don't have to be ridiculously in depth, just because like you can always, you know, basically from these questions, you're going to be able to pick out who's a good fit and who isn't. For example, if they say, you know, for perfect example, please provide all social media links. If you go in there and they're just partying, they're just like, you know, always out and stuff like that, like you just know that they're not going to be a good fit, right? Because you don't want somebody like that on your team. And then also, if you know, if they say, if you ask, what do you do in your spare time, and they say, or whenever I can, I like to go out and party or something like that, you just know they're not going to be a good fit. And then also, I mean, as I said before, if they say that they want to charge 1,500 or 2,000 per month per client, again, they're just not a good fit. And also in terms of kind of like the experience, if their level of experience isn't high enough or they don't have results to back up what they're saying, just weed them out, you can eliminate them. And that's how we funnel the first initial wave of noise down into the kind of the second smaller group, okay? Again, these questions are gonna be linked down below so you can copy, paste them into your Google form or type form. So now let's have a look at elimination, okay? So what, obviously, you know, as I say, the first wave of noise you're gonna get, and then you need to eliminate down into the second smaller group. So as I say, let's have a look at elimination. So the funnel. The process of cutting through the noise will enable you to essentially take all the candidates through the funnel, in which you will be left with a smaller number of prospects who seem as though they are a good fit from what you have seen up until this point, okay? So this funnel, meaning the Google form or type form, will eliminate around 70% of initial applicants due to either them just not filling the form out or their answers not aligning with your ideal team member, okay? So also the tire kickers, right? It will also eliminate the tire kickers and highlight the ones who genuinely want to work with you and your agency, right? You never ever want to bring somebody on board, somebody onto your team who's there for the money. Rather, you want to bring somebody on board who actually wants to work with a team and grow together as a company, okay? So this is something that's super important as well. If you bring, you don't want to bring, for example, somebody who wants to white label. What that means is like, if another agency can't get clients, but they see that they'll be able to get paid through your agency, and so they kind of want to become a quote unquote team member, but it's actually them, you white labeling to them, they white labeling to you, and you're kind of handing off the work to them. You don't want that, because again, we want somebody who's team member orientated. You know, they want to work with the company, because at the end of the day, we're trying to build a real business, a real company here. And with Apple, you don't have people who have their own businesses working as an employee of their business. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work. So you don't want people who are just there for the money. Rather, you want somebody who's genuinely team orientated, who actually want to be a part of something bigger, a company who's all working towards the same North Star, etc., etc. So again, you'll be able to get those ideas. You'll be able to get those kind of points out of them through that Google form or type form with those questions. For example, if they say, with the question that asks, what's the biggest motivator for you to become, in my case, a Bax Consulting team member? If they say, because I just really want to make money, I want to, get some experience under my belt through your agency and then go on to build out my own agency, straight away, you don't, they're not the right way inclined. Rather, if they said, simply because I can see that you guys are doing really, really well, you're working with some really cool clients, and I would love to be a part of your team, I would love to be, I'd love to work under Bax Consulting, something like that. It's like, you can just kind of get a good feel, right? Whether they're lying or not, at least you'll be able to funnel down the quote unquote tire kickers, and then on the, the messages and on the call, which we'll get onto here in a minute, you'll be then able to further clarify the points that they make, okay? So let's get back into it. So the 30%, as I said before, through that first stage of the funnel, you're gonna kind of eliminate around 70%, and that's good, that's what you want. You wanna try and, funnel it down to a smaller group of real solid people. So on average, again, this isn't set in stone numbers, but on average, for every 100 people that go through that funnel, usually 70 of them won't qualify, and you'll be left with 30. So as I say, let's look at what to do with the 30%. So with the applicants who passed, okay, quote unquote passed the initial phase, i.e. you like their answers, and based off those answers, you feel as though they could be a good fit for your team, you want to schedule in a Zoom call with them, okay? So simply message them via email. You want to move away from Facebook or any other social media ASAP. As I said before, you want to transition all communication through email, given that they answered the email question in the Google form or type form, okay? Simply send them a message via email and send them your scheduling link and get them to book in a call, right? Just like with a client, the Zoom meeting ID link will be within the confirmation email. And then on the call, right? So when you are on the call with the specific applicant, you want to get them to share their screen and pull up the ad manager that has the results that they showed you within the application form. Okay, from here, simply get them to refresh the screen just to ensure they're being legit, and also get them to walk you through how they went about getting those specific results, as this will help you understand their thinking and approach to getting results for e-commerce brands, okay? The second reason you wanna jump on a call with the applicant is to simply see if you genuinely like them as a person, okay? It doesn't matter how great someone's results are. If you don't like them as a person, then they will not be a good fit for your agency. So as I say, this is what you wanna now do with the 30% that remain, right? You've kind of looked through their answers look like they could be a good fit. Obviously, you've always got to take into account the fact that they may be lying, they may be trying to say what you want to hear, but for the most part, people aren't going to do that. Okay, so they look as though they are going to be a good fit for your agency. So what you want to then do, email them, send them just that scheduler link that we built out in a few of the previous modules, a few modules ago. Send them just that same scheduler link, get them to book in a call with you, and then from there, hop on the call. And just first things first, obviously just get them to show you the results, get them to refresh the ads manager, get them to, you know, just walk you through the ads manager in terms of the results that they showed, that they screenshotted. Okay, so obviously just as I said, the results that they showed you on the Google or type form, get them to walk you through that respective ads manager. And as I say, get them to refresh and stuff like that, but also get them to just tell you and kind of explain their process and their approach to how they got the results that they're showing you, because this will give you a really, really good understanding of how to, you know, just a good understanding of their thought processes, how they kind of approach getting results, because obviously that's just going to help you, because if they do become a team member, then you want to know and understand kind of their methodical approach to getting results and whatnot, okay? And then on top of that as well, just see if you like them, right? Because again, you want to bring on a team member who's going to planning on them staying with you for a year, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years down the line, right? This is why we want to put in a lot of work to find the perfect person, because they're going to be staying with you for a long time. And so, you know, even if they've got the best results in the world, if you just don't like them, it's never going to work, ever going to work. So you know, for me, the team, I mean, this is good for you guys to understand. The team member that I brought on, he had no results to show me. He had previous experience, but it wasn't, you know, wasn't like getting amazing results. He knew his way around the ads manager. He's a marketing fanatic. He loves it. And that's why I brought him on, because I knew that first thing first, he wanted to he wanted to be part of a team. Okay, he wanted to be, you know, part of a company who's all working towards the same goal. That's the first thing. Second thing, as I say, he's a marketing fanatic. He loves understanding different things. He finds, you know, like ideas and concepts about marketing and, you know, consumer behavior. He finds it really, really interesting. He loves to read about things and stuff like that. So, you know, that was an amazing thing. And then, like I say, but given all that, he didn't have any results to show me. Now, I was in slightly different position to potentially what you guys are in terms of, you know, I had a lot of experience because I built everything out myself. And so I don't recommend you bringing somebody on board who isn't that well-versed. Just get somebody on board that's already an expert. That's gonna, again, help you propel your agency forward. But as I say, with my team member, I actually trained him up. Okay, I actually trained him up. I put him through a whole heap of training, a whole heap of training. And yeah, like I say, I trained him up, and now he, you know, we kill it. On top of that, I genuinely liked him as a person. This is my main point with all of this. I genuinely liked him as a person, and so that really, for me, that outweighed the results that he had to show. Obviously, he didn't have any. However, I liked him as a person. I liked his thought process. I liked his approach to things. I liked him that much that outweighed the fact that he didn't have any results. So what I'm trying to get at is that it's very, very important that you genuinely like them. Okay, their results need to be there. Okay, they still need to have good results, but even if they've got the best results in the world and you don't like them, it doesn't matter. Just, you know, move on from them, let them go and move on to somebody else, because liking them is just as important, in my case, more important than the results that they've gotten. Okay, so Now let's look at how to pay your team member / team members, okay? So invoicing. You want to bring a media buyer on board in the price range of $650 per month to $1,000 per month, okay? So what I mean by this is for every client, they charge, as I say, $650 to $1,000 per month per client. Okay, so for easy numbers, let's say you brought somebody on for $1,000 and you've got 3 clients. Well, you will obviously be paying your contractor $3,000 a month because they're charging $1,000 per month per client. You've got 3 clients, $3,000 a month, right? And in terms of how this works for you and your pricing structure for your clients and whatnot, and ensuring that you still make money, we're going to be covering this in the a couple of weeks down the line. Okay, the sales week, we're going to be talking about pricing. Okay, so don't worry that, $3,000 a month just to pay to your team member may seem a lot, but don't worry, you will be making a lot more than that given the pricing structure that we charge our clients. Again, we'll go through all of this in the later modules. Okay, so as I say, now in terms of how to physically pay them, you want to follow the exact same structure of how you bill your own clients, except roles reversed. Okay, you want to get your team member to send you over an initial invoice in which you pay manually, and from there on in, you want it to be automatic. You want it to be an automatic monthly subscription. You do not want to have the extra worry, of manually paying your team member / team members each and every month. Okay, so as I say, just get basically what we did in the previous module of Essential Softwares when I walked you through Simple Invoices and Stripe, how we set up the automatic monthly subscription. Just literally flip that role, you become the client and get your team member to go through that same process, okay? As I say, it's just honestly so easy. Every month, I mean, for me right now, I never ever pay my client, my contractor, okay? Never do it. Because he set it up in that way, it just automatically comes out every single month automatically. I don't even need to think about it. You do not need the extra action, the extra thought, the extra worry, whatever you want to call it, of manually paying your team member each and every month. Just get them to create an automatic monthly subscription. Okay, so same structure. Ideally, you want your team member / team members to use to use Simple Invoices and couple that with Stripe as the payment processor. Again, exactly as we do with our clients. However, there is a monthly fee associated with Simple Invoices, and so if your team member doesn't want to use it, then just get them to set up a monthly subscription natively through Stripe. Okay, this is what my team does. So my team actually doesn't use Simple Invoices. They have created native automatic monthly subscriptions, automatic monthly invoices through Stripe natively. So just get them to do that if they don't want to do the $15 Simple Invoices fee that's associated with it. Obviously, you guys need to do it though, because you as the owner, you need to make sure everything looks really, really good, really aesthetically pleasing. And as you know, Simple Invoices does that for your clients. So make sure that you as the agency owner use it for your clients. However, it doesn't matter if the invoice doesn't look that aesthetically pleasing for you from your team member. That doesn't really matter. So if they want to save on the $15 a month service fee, get them to set up the automatic monthly subscription natively through Stripe. It's just a free version. Okay, so that's how much we want to pay them. So $650 per month per client to $1,000 per month per client, and that's how you want to physically pay your team. Okay, so here are your action items from this module. Okay, number 1, create the application form using Google Forms, or if you want to use Typeforms, that's obviously a paid software, but go ahead. So create the application. Again, all of the questions on the application form are linked down below. Next, join the Facebook group, Facebook Ad Buyers Job Board. And then also, once you've been accepted, create a post within the group. Once you're accepted, and start the process of building your true team. As I said as well, the postscript, what you should be putting into the group, will also be linked down below. Okay, so coming together is a beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success. This is a quote by Henry Ford. I want you to start your beginning today. Okay guys, so as I say, start your beginning today. start building out your team. As I say, make sure you put in the time and effort into this process, because this will be, when you've done it right, and you'll be able to do it right by following everything we've gone through in this module, when you do it right, it genuinely will be the highest ROI activity that you do for your agency, okay? Building a team is just so important, and building a true team is, like I say, nothing else will come close to how valuable this activity is. So make sure you put in the time, put in the effort, follow everything we've gone through in this module, and let's move on to the next module, where we're going to be talking about how to manage and, how to manage your team and how to get the most out of them while also keeping them happy as well, because that's very important. So as I say, hope you enjoyed this module, and I will see you in the next one.